Hello and welcome to episode 352 of Sudden Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
I'm Bill, and let's start with our NFL.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Buffalo, Kansas City.
Okay. Probably the best game.
Probably the best game. And people are already asking me who I'd pick next week. And I know the Ravens will be favored, and I know it's in Baltimore, but Patrick Mahomes kind of has that Tom Brady thing with me.
He does.
I've got a hard time picking against Patrick Mahomes, especially yesterday when they had the ball for almost 15 full minutes less than Buffalo, and still outscored them. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
It is. It really is.
And they had 8 plays of 20 yards or more, and Buffalo didn't have any, which was a big part of that game. You can point to a lot of things, but that's a big thing. And that, if you have 8 20-yard plays, I mean, that takes care of a lot of time and possession things because you're not walking down the field, you're running down the field.
And, I mean, probably contributing to that is Buffalo set the record for most passes, 14 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, which, you know, as Steeler fans, we know we're not big fans of those plays.
No, we're not. It could be a different game. I mean, if Chris Jones doesn't push the blocker into Allen on that pass to Diggs in the end zone, that was a touchdown.
It was.
He was wide open. But, that's why Chris Jones gets the money he gets.
Yeah.
He makes things happen.
And nobody understands why McCall Hardman, who almost blew the game for the Chiefs, gets the money he gets.
Well, he won't be getting it from Kansas City next year.
No, I mean, as soon as I saw them hand him off the ball, like I had that feel because I was rooting for the Chiefs. I guess I just want to see Mahomes do really well. He seems likable.
Yeah.
I like him.
I mean, he's ridiculously good. And I just don't understand when he's past the line of scrimmage, when he still fakes that pitch, and people still go for that every freaking time.
Yeah, I guess in the moment you just assume, why is he doing that if it's not possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I haven't seen him pitch back to somebody that far downfield yet. Maybe he has, and maybe it's in the repertoire, or maybe they're just saving it to do that. I don't know, but he's ridiculous.
He is.
And speaking of ridiculous, how open was Travis Kelce on that one touchdown?
Incredibly wide open.
I know. That always blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs did lose two. They lost the safety with a head injury, so we're not sure if he'll be back for the championship game. And they lost the middle linebacker with, I think, a knee.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the concussion protocol, that was like really early on. That was like the second or third play, I think.
yeah, so I mean, you could be without two more defensive starters against the Ravens in Baltimore. I guess as we move on to that game, I would say that if you're Baltimore, this is probably when they talk about windows, you obviously have Lamar Jackson, you have a lot of young talent on that team. You'll probably be competitive for the next 5 or 6 years, regardless. Bar major injuries, but I think this is your shot, right? This is probably the worst Chiefs offense you're probably ever gonna get because I don't think they'll do that to Mahomes again. You're at home. You're the healthiest team left in the playoffs, and your offense seems to be clicking. Like I don't really know what else you could ask for if you're Baltimore.
No, and the other thing, and for Kansas City side, I mean, you kind of prepare for Baltimore the way you prepared for Josh Allen.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that helps them a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be a lot different. Um, you get a guy that can run just like Josh Allen, only he's more elusive rather than just power.
yeah.
But they're both really difficult to stop.
Yeah, Lamar's incredible running the football,
Yes, he is.
and Dalvin Cook looked fantastic for them last week too.
Yeah, he'll probably have more of a role.
Yeah,
Zay Flowers has looked good all year.
Odell has been solid. Isaiah Likely's done a nice job filling in for Mark Andrews. Their offensive,
I really liked Isaiah Likely when he was at Coastal Carolina.
yeah,
He was a stud, and he has continued to do the same thing. He's an amazing player.
yeah. That's what they've been saying. Like if Mark Andrews was 80% this week, like would you even want to shake up anything you've been doing with as good as you've been playing and the way Isaiah Likely's been playing?
Yeah,
Probably not, right?
probably not.
I guess since we know that's our matchup, before we get to the who we think's going to win, We want to talk about the losers of both games. Like, I don't think the Texans could feel any better than they do right now, right? Given that they lost.
Yeah, they played well. Game got away from them in the second half, but I mean, nobody would have ever picked them to get that far anyhow.
No.
I mean, they exceeded expectations dramatically. And Stroud looks like a really, really good quarterback, and you got a real nice young set of receivers. That team's going to be, and they get a really good defense. That team's going to be good for a long time.
Yeah, they picked second overall this year, and they won a playoff game. That's about as good as you could get. And like you said, I mean, Stroud, when you start doing the list of, Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, I think Stroud is in that, look out, here he comes right away, right?
I agree.
I mean,
I was very impressed.
the only reason I wouldn't put him in there is it's only been 1 year, but I mean, I think everything he did, he looked out just incredible this year. And then if you're the Bills, you technically lost on a wide right kick again.
Yeah,
And
which is sad. I mean, whenever I saw that kick start to sail, I go, "Oh my God, how cruel is that for Buffalo to lose on a kick again?" That
again,
was really cruel.
and if you're Buffalo, you've now been, to this position 3 out of the last 4 years. You've lost at home back-to-back years in the game before the championship game, once to, Cincinnati and now to Mahomes. As we said, the same thing that I said about the Ravens was true with Buffalo. Like, this was your best chance to beat Patrick Mahomes. He had a diminished offense, injuries on
Yeah.
their defense. You're at home, and you didn't get it done. And I don't really know what you do moving forward.
No, I don't know what you do either.
I assume there'll be some Diggs comments coming.
Oh, I would assume.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, granted, he dropped a very catchable pass, or failed to catch. I don't know how you would classify his long ball, right? That looked like the kind of catch.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass.
Yeah. Because at least the other guy I forget the other guy's name, the one that laid out and didn't come with the ball, that was a tough catch, right?
Yeah, that was a very tough catch.
Where the Diggs one, like, it looked like it went right across both of his hands.
Yeah.
So, you're an elite wide receiver in the NFL. Like, that's big time player, big time moment. So hopefully he keeps it quiet. But I don't know. That's a rough spot to be in if you're Buffalo. Again.
Let's switch NFC.
Okay.
Kudos to the Lions.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that dude that was there the last time they won in 1957. I don't know how old he was in 1957, but that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It was not an easy game.
I like the team. I like the running game.
Yeah.
I like the receiving game. Goff played well. I think he's getting better and better. I think he's getting more confident. So I think he's a factor.
Baker played really well too on the other side.
Baker played very well for 3 touchdowns
And 350 yards, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's definitely earned a contract for the Buccaneers next year.
that first interception was not his fault. That went off right off Mike Evans' hands.
That was terrible.
It was terrible. And then the Bucs dropped that interception on the Jared Goff pass, like hit him in both of his hands in the end zone that they ended up scoring
They
on
dropped
later.
2 like that.
Yeah. So I mean, Jared Goff gave them 2 opportunities. The Bucs didn't come through because the Bucs were really in that game.
Oh, totally. And I thought Baker had a shot at bringing him back. He was hit a couple passes, and then hit that one. And it was a bad decision to throw into that coverage.
Yeah. But I mean, you dropped 2 interceptions, one in the end zone that leads to Detroit points, and then you had a big Mike Evans drop, and then you had the pick. Like you can't make that many mistakes. But
No.
I think
But
Detroit.
again, they really overachieved. Nobody thought they'd even be in the playoffs.
No, and yet they won the division and made the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he played really, really well. He gets a lot of the credit for them getting where they were.
Yeah, because I feel like with Baker, he's still under 30. I feel like he performed well enough this year that I'd be confident moving forward with Baker for another year, right?
I would too. Because Trask obviously isn't the answer.
No. But I mean, I thought overall Baker I think I'd almost feel more comfortable with Baker than Jared Goff. Because I still feel like Goff is one of those when the play is in structure and he's getting good blocking and everything goes right, he's a good quarterback. But he seems like when things go wrong, he can't really do much. Whereas Baker can do a little bit. Now, I don't
Yeah,
think,
except I really like where Goff is right now. I think he's at the best point in his career right now.
even though he's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, this is his team. He's confident. He's confident in the way he has been confident before. Like I said, I think they could go into San Francisco and win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Because again, I guess we should, we move to the 49ers. The Packers, they're the youngest team in the NFL, not just in the playoffs. Jordan Love looks like he might be the real deal. They have tons of talent on offense with Musgrave and Woods and Romeo and everybody else. And they just need to add a couple pieces on defense. And I'm sure they're already the favorites to win their division next year. Well, I guess the Lions maybe, depending on how this goes. But I mean, and then the 49ers.
A really interesting team.
Yeah. Debo once again got hurt. And this is from another podcast, but they said if you started the playoffs and you were doing a bracket on who you think would get hurt most, you'd probably say Debo, George Kittle, and McCaffrey would probably all be in your top 5 to 10 players that would be hurt, right?
Along with Odell Beckham.
Along with Odell Beckham, yeah. But I mean, he doesn't mean as much to the Ravens as those 3 guys mean to the 49ers.
Yeah, no question.
And Debo is questionable, so he might be playing this week, so we don't really know.
McCaffrey has stayed healthy almost all year.
And there were so many times, and it wasn't just because I was going against him in fantasy, but I'd see the 49ers up by like 14 with 5 minutes left and they're still running McCaffrey, and I just wondered, what are you doing? But it seemed to be okay. But I think the elephant in the room for them is, everybody's favorite, MVP favorite in week 6 this year, Brock Purdy,
No, he's definitely cooled off.
He's cooled off.
He's cooled off, and, that team, I don't know. I mean, Detroit is hot, and they love that coach. And I think the coaches that are left are all really, really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I just think if I was going to throw away $100, I'd bet on the Lions.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I want to see what the line is. I still might do it.
I think right now Detroit has probably become America's team, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the non-Swifties, obviously, who have become Chiefs fans, and that's a big group of people. But I think
they've never been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they haven't won in, 57, 43, 66 years. 67 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty David and Goliath kind of thing. That's pretty David thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would pick Lions and Chiefs, I assume?
I don't know if I pick. I'm going to root for the Lions, and I'm going to root for the Chiefs, and I think they'll both be underdogs.
Yeah. I think they're definitely. I think as of right now, the Chiefs are 2.5-point underdogs in Baltimore. And I think the Lions are probably close to 6 or 7. Although I'm sure the weather report, because if it's going to rain, that seems to be Brock Purdy's kryptonite. So that could affect it a little bit.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, those are two, we said at the beginning of the year, okay, I think I did have the 49ers and I did have the Chiefs. So I think I had 2 of the 4. I didn't have the Ravens, and I didn't have the Lions to make it this far.
No.
I know that. I mean, I liked the Lions in the beginning of the year, and I thought the Lions would win the division. I didn't think they'd make it this far in the playoffs.
No.
And I didn't think the Ravens were going to I thought the Bengals were going to dominate and win that. And I thought the 49ers would win, and I thought the Chiefs would win.
Yeah. I mean, just like with Brady, I feel like Mahomes has reached that era where, like, I don't care who the other quarterbacks of the other division is. Like, I'm probably going to pick
he's played in the AFC Championship game all 6 of his years in the NFL.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 3. Like, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, and I mean, if you watch him, he's just as enthusiastic as he was 6 years ago.
And he's not terrible in those Jake from State Farm commercials.
No, he's not.
He's no Andy Reid, who's crushing that role, and eating the food. But yeah, he's good.
Kelsey's brother was a lot out of control last night.
But in a fun way.
In a fun way, but if I'm Taylor Swift, I'm thinking, whoa, what am I getting into?
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, the NFL is going to cut away to her as often as possible. So,
Yeah.
and
And Mom said that's Mahomes' wife that's jumping all over her and grabbing her.
yeah, and they've been, paparazzi pictured. So who knows, like behind the scenes, what's happening? Cat Williams would have one explanation for you, but she seems very good at being enthusiastic at the games.
Speaking of Cat Williams, there was a really good Cat Williams skit on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, there was. My favorite on Saturday Night Live, though, is I guess this would be entertaining. We'll just throw it in here right now since we're talking about it. Though, was when she did on the news when she was the guy that jumped at the judge.
Oh yeah, she was tremendous, tremendous.
And if you haven't watched that video in real life, look at I guess inmate attacks judge, because it is one. We're a sports talk show, and that's an incredible athletic feat.
Yes, he even said it was.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
Yeah. I mean, this man leaps from the ground, gets horizontal, and gets completely over the judge's bench and lands on the judge, if you haven't seen it, which is just, phenomenal stuff.
And it showed on Saturday Night Live. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But we digress. But it was fun.
It was. The Steelers, this is our Steeler moment. We're excited, right, Dad?
Very excited.
Because they, for all the Kenny Pickett talk and quarterback controversy, they asked permission to talk to the Rams passing game coordinator, who's been with the Rams for 5 years as a quarterback coach, passing game coordinator, playing with McVay, played QB at Oklahoma State. So that's a nice one to look at. It's nice to see that they're going outside and they're looking at people that are from innovative.
Really outside. In other words, not just being outside now, but never having been in a Steeler organization.
Exactly, or at Pitt.
That's how I'm defining it.
Yes.
That outside means you have no ever experience or connection to the Steelers. That's outside.
And rather than looking at a failed college offensive coordinator, you're looking at an upcoming guy who's playing for Sean McVay, who's considered one of the most modern, innovative offensive minds in football.
Yeah.
Like, that's the people we want to see you going to get.
We want to see schemes. We want to see offensive schemes, not offensive plays.
We want to see the Steelers receivers end up in the Travis Kelce role, where it's like, how is he that wide open?
That's what we're hoping for.
That's what we're
so
hoping for.
Hopefully they'll get Zach Robinson. I would love that.
Yeah. He's interviewing with the Patriots as well, but, I mean, Pittsburgh's a really good place. Mike Tomlin's a loyal coach. It could be a good spot for him. So
absolutely would. Oh, we got a little NBA action. Every time we talk, we're still talking that the Thunder and the Timberwolves are at the top of the division in the West.
And they're separated by a game, although the Nuggets now they're a game back of first, and they have the same number of wins as the Timberwolves. And they went into Boston and ended Boston's 20-something game home court winning streak.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that seems like one of those games that you're like, oh, okay, Denver is, because they've been sort of quiet this year,
Well, I mean, all the hype is, wow, look at Minnesota, look at Oklahoma City.
And
that's a lot of hype.
And look at our favorite player, James Harden, and the Clippers, Dad.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that.
They are 27-14.
I know.
They're in fourth place right now. And Kawhi looks like Kawhi from 7 years ago. Playoff P looks like Playoff P. Like, they're playing just really incredible basketball.
They are.
And
meanwhile, Kevin Durant's saying, what haven't I done? And I've got a long list.
Yeah. A very long list. And people brought up again as we watch, another great, Golden State is 18-22 right now. They don't look good. They have a negative point differential for probably one of the first times in the Steph, Clay, Draymond era. And you just wonder, like, was it that bad? Like, could KD still be on that team? And what would that team have done historically at this point? If he had just...
That's a good question. I mean, KD is, like we talked about all the time, he's a piece. He's not the piece.
Right.
And there's very few people that are the piece. Giannis is the piece. Jokic is the piece. Tatum's trying to prove he is the piece. Jimmy Butler is the piece. I mean, but there's not a lot of people that are that. Luka's the piece.
Yeah.
but they got to win.
And I was thinking about the Durant thing recently. Like, if he had stayed in Oklahoma City and won a chip, he would have been the man in Oklahoma City, right?
Oh, it'd have been God.
But he went to Golden State, where even though he won multiple finals and multiple finals MVP and was, in NBA circles was maybe considered the best player on that team, even with Steph there. But he knew he would never be the guy because that's Steph's city, that's Steph's team, which is understandable.
Sure.
But it felt like of the places he could have gone once he left, if that was really his thing to both win and be the man, I don't think the Nets were ever going to be the choice, and I don't think Phoenix is the right choice.
No.
I mean, there's certain cities you could go to and be the man if you want a chip there, and I just don't think he picked one. And then now it doesn't look like he's going to get there. So,
No, I don't think he is either. I think that Phoenix is going to make it back.
yeah. Like, obviously, if you go to the Lakers, you're never going to be the man in LA. But if he had, I know the Knicks were a mess at the time, but I feel like if he had gone to the Knicks, you could be the man in New York as a Knick. If you want, if that was your
Yeah.
ultimate goal. Is to
And that's a big man to be in New York.
Yeah. And I know he thought he could rewrite things with Jay-Z in Brooklyn, but that wasn't ever going to happen.
No.
Anybody that played in the NBA or been around the NBA should have known that wasn't even a shot.
Yeah,
Toronto is in full rebuild, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to wonder what's the next piece to fall, if there is a piece. And it seems like it's DeJounte Murray, who everybody wants, but it seems like the teams, we talked about it a little bit beforehand, Lakers really only have the 2029 first-round pick in D'Angelo Russell. The Bucks are apparently calling, and I still don't know what the Bucks even have to offer, unless they want an Antetokounmpo brother that's not Giannis.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to play.
No. I did see the Spurs are in conversations too to bring him back, which I wouldn't mind seeing because he's a good guard, and you pair him with Victor, and that might be a nice way to get Victor more involved in the offense.
Yeah, could be. The
And
Spurs are going to need to pick up some people.
Yeah, and Golden State is interested as well, but I don't know what you give up if you're Golden State because I don't think the Hawks want, unless they really like Kuminga or Moody, I don't think you have anything to offer.
No. And the Bucks or the Warriors really need to drop some payroll. They need to get some flexibility.
Yeah.
And, you're not going to take on a Klay Thompson unless you're real close and you see a role for Klay to help get you to the finals. That's the only way that I see that happening.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, like, Draymond still seems to have more as a player than Klay has as a player. Klay is just, he's kind of washed at this point, right?
I think so.
He's a statue. He can still shoot, but, he was one of the best defensive players in the league on the perimeter for a long time. And he was so quick and nasty with that shot, but I just don't think it's there anymore. So I don't really know what, if you're Golden State, you can see why the owner left, because I just don't know what you do. And I think everything else is sort of
it's hard
playing.
to say.
Yeah, it's sort of playing out as you would expect it to play out. Yeah, no real surprises. Like the teams are pretty much exactly where they were last year. I think the only thing people are starting to come around to now is that, there's been a lot of gloom and doom talk with Milwaukee, but they have a +4 whimpers, differential. They're second place, and they have 29 wins, so they're not exactly
No, and they they've been around it. They know that they're going to be in the playoffs, and that's what they're going to peak for.
Yeah. And obviously they would love to add a piece like DeJounte Murray, but I don't think they have any room to do so. But for all the doom and gloom, they're pretty solid. And then Philadelphia is right there too at 28-13, another team you think might add something.
Yeah. If I'm Philadelphia, though, I'm going to try and go all in.
Yeah. And again, I don't know who that piece would be with them, but you look for something nice.
Yeah. It's sports-wise, and it was a kind of a quiet week.
Yeah. I guess it was a little chaos in women's college basketball, right?
Yeah, Iowa goes down to Ohio State, and Caitlin Clark gets nailed on the floor by somebody charging the court. And hit her pretty good, knocked her down.
Yeah.
You've got to. I don't know. you love the spontaneity. You don't want to discourage that. But on the other hand, maybe you got to be more aware. If you lose, it's going to happen. You need to get the hell off the court.
Yeah, I did think it was an accident. It didn't seem like it was on purpose.
No, it was an accident.
Yeah, like I've seen people coming out being like they're trying to hurt the best, and it's like I don't think that's what happened this particular
No,
time.
not at all.
I wouldn't put it past a person to do that, but I don't think that's what we saw this time. But you dropped, she was your pick for somebody to take first overall in the NBA draft. She did drop 45 in that loss.
Well, I wouldn't take her number one, but I would take her if I had, if I had a lottery pick and I didn't, in this draft and I was picking like 7 or 8, I'd definitely have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, you taking her or Bronny?
Well, I think I'd take her over Bronny.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason you take Bronny is, LeBron is a free agent at some point. Maybe he swings in, and then you get LeBron in your building if it's something you even want. Because again, I'm not in any way disparaging how incredible LeBron James is a basketball player. But once again, that team is sort of floundering, and bullets are flying at everybody not named LeBron.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's been pretty, I don't know, kind of a standard,
And he's had an incredible year for somebody 38 years old.
Insane. Like I said, incredible. But it's always, if you're going there, you're going to get none of the credit and all the blame. So.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, that sort of seems to be the LeBron.
That's what you're signing up for.
Yeah. Because it seems like, at least with Jordan, it was only Pippen that was butthurt about everything. So. Yeah.
Well, my entertainment moment is Slow Horses. We watched season 1 Wednesday, season 2 Thursday, and season 3 on Friday.
That's some pretty serious binging.
6 episodes per season. So about 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours, 15 hours of TV.
Yeah.
But we loved the characters. We loved the story. And it was really easy to commit to.
Nice.
So really, really enjoyable. So I'm recommending Slow Horses.
Okay.
It's on Apple TV, and it's about Britain's MI5, I think they're called. Their Secret Service.
It is, yes.
Yep. Very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch episode 2 of Night Country tonight from HBO.
Yeah, we're waiting to start that one.
And
we're trying to figure out if Maria should watch season 1 before she jumps into any of the others, or we just jump into season 4 and then we can, if she likes that, we can revisit the other ones.
Oh, do you have Me TV?
Not that I'm aware of, unless it's free or it's on part of Hulu or something.
It might be a part of. I don't know what it's part of. It's just it's a part of my cable DirecTV package.
Okay.
And I watch this because it has a lot of the shows I really like.
Yeah.
And I was surfing through, and last night I found they have the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, which was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. It comes on like at 1 a.m. So I taped an episode. I'm going to watch it tonight. But it was like one of my very, very favorite TV shows.
Okay.
So Alfred Hitchcock Presents. And, he would introduce every episode and talk about it. It was really good. Really well done.
Yeah, and there's an episode, I wish I could remember the name. It takes place on a hospital on a stormy night, but it's still in the list of scariest episodes on network TV ever. And it's really well done. It is a good episode.
Is it from the Alfred Hitchcock Hour?
It is.
Okay.
I don't remember what season it is. It's one of the earlier seasons, but it takes place, like I say, when you see it, it's a hospital, a hotel, or a hospital stormy night.
Okay.
There was that. There was this inbred home episode from X-Files that they don't even show on TV half the time anymore. And there was a couple others that were just considered, for network television, obviously not including cable and everything else, but yeah.
Well, I'll check this out tonight, see what I think about Alfred Hitchcock when I used to watch it when I was, I guess, 13, 14 years old. No, maybe not even that. Maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah. That's true.
Had a Gold Belly purchase of cinnamon rolls from Miami. They were buy four get four free. They were outstanding. It was Chef Marie something or other. I can't remember it now, but they were really good. And that's it. I don't think I had a food. We didn't go anywhere to eat.
Oh, I think I've mentioned this before, but there's a grocery store chain down here, or not another chain. There might be two of them. It's called Jorniak's.
No, you didn't mention this one.
And it's a little more. It's not like Whole Foods bougie because they still have all the normal Oreos and everything else, but it's a little pricier than some other grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a bakery and they make the best donuts in the city of New Orleans.
Whoa!
I'll just say that flat out. We got donuts again on Saturday. We moved around a little bit, but they're fresh baked because I mean Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme are now doing that where they have a shipping center.
Have a shipment. Yeah,
and they're bringing them in frozen, and I guess it hasn't affected their sales calls or their sales because they haven't changed it. But you can tell it's enough that I won't get them anymore. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But Jorniak's, I mean, you can watch them bake them fresh. Like their donuts are incredible, and they make the French crawler, which is a really underrated.
Great donut. It's a great donut.
And they make a glazed one. They make a chocolate frosted one. Chocolate nut. They make a lot of them, and they're incredible.
Okay.
I mean, the downfall of the French crawler is it's so light and airy that you can eat.
Yes, you can eat several.
Several before you realize you're eating several.
It's not a one or two donut thing. It's several.
Several, yes, and we'll just leave it at several. But it's you should go. They don't do, and if anyone is listening that is New Orleans, they don't do crawlers on Sunday mornings. So just keep that in mind. I know they do them on Saturdays. That's the only day we've ever gone. And I would say they open at 7 and you have to get to the bakery pretty early. So.
Cool.
And I've never tried anything but donuts there, so I can't tell you that everything. But I assume if everything, it's a big open kitchen. You get to watch them bake stuff, so they seem to know what they're doing. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, enjoy Championship Sunday.
Yeah, and hopefully whoever you bet on wins.
And then I guess get ready to watch the superstar version of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Followed by I wonder what the NBA is going to be doing with their All-Star weekend. So we'll see how they're going to tweak theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, everyone, have a good week.
All right, bye.